We did it. Hi, how is everyone? Welcome again to my weekly Facebook and Instagram Live. It is so good to be with all of you. So good. Let me just adjust, sorry. Some days this is easier than others. Let's do that and that. All right. Hi. We have lots and lots and lots of new followers over the last couple weeks, and I am just so excited and honored to be here with you. I have my Warby Parker blue light glasses on because I've already been in front of a screen for, 2 hours or something like that at this point today, right? And I got a couple more hours to go. I am Amy Raup of amyraup.com, and always excited to come to you live every single week and talk about exciting healthcare topics. My jam is women's health and vitality, and connecting the dots between emotional health and physical health, and helping you really live your best life possible, allowing yourself to heal and to thrive and to have the life of your dreams, because you deserve the life of your dreams. I've become known in lots of circles as a fertility detective, as a natural fertility expert. I have written a handful of books. They're right above me, and just came out with my fourth book about 3 weeks ago called The Egg Quality Diet. Baxter Blues. Did I say Warby Parker? Baxter Blues. Sorry, I have Warby Parker glasses. Baxter Blues. These are my Baxter Blues. Aren't they so cute? I have too much in my brain sometimes and I forget things. And that's why my team is there. They help guide and support me. I'm going to clean my screen here. It looks a little dirty. Okay, so my latest book called The Egg Quality Diet came out about 3 weeks ago. It is topping the bestseller lists in Amazon, and fertility and endometriosis categories and in women's health categories. And I am honored and excited and just so happy to be able to get information out to all of you. And so there's been a flurry of activity around that book. And I did a similar live to the one I'm doing today just about a year ago, where I talked about my different books and which one is the best for you, which one is the best for the reader. And so I'm going to do a live like that again today, but instead of having 3 books, now I have 4 books, and I want to go through them one by one and talk about, why I wrote it, the specialness in the book to me, and who it's for. So you can get a better understanding of, I'm brand new to you, Amy. Where do I start? And I want to do X, Y, and Z with my health. So which book is the best place for me to start? Because, I love your new book. Well, thank you so much, Matilda. I love hearing that. Make sure you leave a review. Reviews really help readers, helps us reach more readers. Reviews on Amazon, even if you didn't buy the book there, seems to help a ton. Helps with the algorithm, helps us just reach more people. So please leave reviews for any of my books if you read them and you love them. Okay, so my first book, I call this my first baby because it really was. I didn't have a family back then. I was a single New York City chick living in Soho when I wrote this book. And it came out, this is a very, very, very old copy. This is the original copy that I signed to myself. It always makes me so emotional. I don't know why. July 9th. Oh my God. Is today July 8th? Isn't that crazy? July 9th, 2009. So, what is that? That's 11 years ago. Here's to my first of many books. I'm so proud of me. I love you, Amy Ellen Raup. So I signed that to myself, which is making me so emotional for some reason. I think because the date, too, it's kind of fascinating. So July 9th, 2009. This book came out, I want to say, earlier than that. I can't remember. What year did it come out? It came out in August of 2009. Isn't that funny? I guess I just have a tendency to write books around this time because, yes, you can get pregnant. My second book came out in July of 2014. It's funny, interesting. 2013? I can't remember now. Anyway, we'll get to that. So this is my first book. Came out in August of 2009. And it's called Chill Out and Get Healthy. Live clean to stay strong and be sexy. This is like my Sex in the City book. That's what I call it. Because I had an editor. I was at Penguin. It was kind of a big deal book deal. And she was really they were really into like Sex in the City at the time. It was very like, girlfriend to girlfriend. And I didn't always love that subtitle, Live Clean. I didn't love the stay sexy part. They really pushed for that. Fine. It was all marketing and PR. And this book was all about like knowing what healthy is and how to live your healthiest life so you could age gracefully. So if I had to put an age group on this book, I think it's for a woman in her 20s or early 30s, where she's really just getting back in touch with her body, learning how to take care of her body, not totally thinking about a family just yet, maybe just out of college, or that kind of age group where it's like, oh, I want to be healthier than I am. What are some things I can do? And so the book starts out with just talking about myself and who I am. Let's see, and I talk about ladies, this is how I open the book. Ladies, it's time to chill out and get healthy. It's time to get your health into kick-ass shape. Are you that crazed, irritable, cry at the drop of a hat, raging PMS girl? Do you have that I'm so bloated it's uncomfortable tummy after every meal? Are you scared that you're not going to be fertile when it's time to get pregnant? So I think that's like the perfect category to put for this reader. Are you exhausted every morning and absolutely need that double no foam latte to wake your ass up? Do you have that I haven't taken a poop in 3 days constipated feeling every day? Are you taking an antidepressant, an anti-anxiety, a pill to help you sleep, a pill to help you poop? All of the above. Are you stressed out that you feel like you have no time to get to the grocery store, pick up your dry cleaning, or make that overdue phone call to your mother? Do you think soy is good for you and drink it and eat it in every form? This is back when soy was really, really, really like a health craze. Like I remember Shape magazine was like, soy is the next, superfood. And it was like, I was so against it because it was so processed. I'm still always really proud of that even back in 2009, I was talking about soy not being good for you. There's a chapter in this book, Sugar is Evil, Soy Sucks, and Fat Will Not Make You Fat. So if you guys want to know a little glance into me and my integrity, is I've been actually talking about the same message for over 10 years. And I'm very proud of that. So are you a regular at Sephora because every time you look in the mirror, you think you see another wrinkle? If you answered yes to any one of those questions, Chill Out and Get Healthy was written for you. It's a new you lifestyle guide and not a jump on the bandwagon 2-week diet fad that will teach you how to nourish your body and soul, decrease general anxiety, manage overwhelming stressors, maintain and improve your fertility, beautify your skin from the inside out, get your digestive system back on track, and fight the fear of, oh my God, is that another wrinkle aging? So it's a practical modern day guide with Chinese medicine twists throughout the book, because I was an acupuncturist and herbalist back then too. Been one of those for 17 years, and I have a master's degree in traditional Chinese medicine and biology and chemistry, bachelor's degree. And so who is this book for? This is the book that I think is a really good general lifestyle book. And again, wrote it back 2008 to 2009. And so the general, what do I want to say? Contents. Do you know what healthy is? So I go through and define what optimal health looks like. And I talk about stress in the next chapter. That chapter is called Seriously Chill the Fuck Out. The original title in the book when I sold it to Penguin was Chill the Fuck Out and Choose Health Now. We didn't go with that title because fuck wasn't a common word in book titles back then. It is now, but back then we did not sell the title that way, but I was able to use the F word in the book. Chapter 4, Mental Detox. Chapter 5, Sugar is Evil, Soy Sucks, Bigger is Not Better. Chapter 6, What the Hell Can I Actually Eat? Chapter 7, Preparing the Palace, which is all about Chinese medicine and optimizing fertility, whether or not you're trying to get pregnant, but talking about how fertility speaks volumes about your health, and if a regular menstrual cycle, regular ovulation. So, I talk all about that in chapter 7 of this book. Chapter 8, Beauty You Can't Buy at Sephora. Chapter 9, Battling the Branch. So this book is fun. I love that chapter 9, Battling the Branch, because it gives you, Beauty You Can't Buy at Sephora is also good. It's about inner and outer beauty. There's some really fun like facial tips and tools in there, like ointments you can make for yourself, and all sorts of stuff. I talk about thinning hair and cellulite, Battling the Branch, chapter 9. So I love this because I go through common issues and like great tips of things you can do to manage issues like sleep, digestive issues, pooping problems, vaginal issues, pain with sex, low sex drive, body temperature issues. And I break down like things you can do for like digestive issues. If you have heartburn, rub your feet in certain areas, don't eat too fast, chew your food completely, avoid spicy foods. The big bloat, I talk about digestive enzymes, I talk about thyroid, I talk about probiotics, I talk about foods you should probably be avoiding. So I just love this book. And so chapter 7, Preparing the Palace, in this book was again all about preparing your child's palace, preparing yourself for optimal fertility. I talk about things like Clomid. Letrozole wasn't out back then. I talk about FSH. AMH didn't exist back then. I talk about ovulation. I talk about egg and sperm timing. I talk about the birth control pill, my opinion on it, what your period should look like, quick fixes for menstrual cramps, things that are affecting your fertility, like stress, anxiety, depression, body weight, your diet, exercise, physical illness, eating your way to hormonal bliss. And so what happened was, so I write Chill Out and Get Healthy. It did well, reached a lot of people, still continues to sell, love this book. And as my practice evolved in my New York City clinic and my other clinics, I started seeing a lot more women trying to manage hormone issues and a lot more women trying to get and stay pregnant. And so I took chapter 7 from this book, Preparing the Palace, and I wrote a whole new book called Yes, You Can Get Pregnant. This is, since the Egg Quality Diet book has come out, it is now the current bestseller, but this has always been my best-selling book. Yes, You Can Get Pregnant. And so this is, and I still consider it, even with the Egg Quality Diet out, remember the Egg Quality Diet, which is my newest book, is really a food program. This is the whole body holistic jumpstart to optimizing your fertility. And I wrote this book because I was so frustrated and upset with how many women were giving their power away to their doctors, to their numbers, to the media, to the forums that they were on, and not realizing that they had a lot of control over their fertility, and there was a lot that they could do to optimize their health and their fertility. So I was frustrated. I was really frustrated with the medical system at the time. And I felt very compelled to write this book because I wanted to scream from the rooftops to all women that yes, you can get pregnant. Yes, you do have power over your fertility. Yes, you can optimize your health. Yes, you can change your fertility. So this baby came out in 2014. And so this is all about fertility. That's it. So going to the table of contents, there's several parts to the book. Part 1, part 2, part 3. Part 1 is all about you have the power. So I start the book off talking about my least favorite word is the word infertility, and how we have to stop being infertility focused and shift to being fertility focused, because there's a lot of fertility that exists and surrounds us. And I go on to talk about your fertile body, all the ins and outs of how your body works, everything from all of the female hormones to, what your BBT chart should look like, to like your optimal menstrual cycle, the basis of your fertile body, BBT charting, the hypothalamus, pituitary, ovarian axis. I mean, I go into all of it. Then I talk about how you live your life directly affects your ability to get pregnant. So this is a common theme in all of my books. The science of epigenetics has been a leading initiator for anything I teach and ever have taught. And I'm also very proud of that part. I'm proud of telling you soy was bad 10 years ago. And I'm also proud of the fact that I've been talking about epigenetics since the science was kind of brand new. Epigenetics is the science that we now know. Basically, our genes are not set in stone the way we once thought. That how we live our life actually directly impacts whether or not genes get turned on or turned off. This is really before MTHFR conversation or methylation was such a big conversation. But I talk about epigenetics in Chill Out and Get Healthy. I talk about it in Yes, You Can Get Pregnant. And I really drive it home in Yes, You Can Get Pregnant. And I still think this book is an extremely relevant book on fertility that any woman trying to conceive should read. And you should, if you also should get the Egg Quality Diet. You should have both of these books because Yes, You Can Get Pregnant covers every single aspect of fertility, from emotional, nutritional, physical, supplements, lifestyle, beauty products, all of it. Egg Quality Diet, and we'll get to that in a second, is really 100 days of what you should eat and menus that are balanced for fertility. But I talk all about epigenetics. I talk about endocrine disrupting chemicals. I talk about environmental toxins. I talk about the immune system and how it's impacting fertility. I talk about autoimmune diseases and how they're impacting fertility. Nobody was talking about that back in 2014 when I wrote this book. In fact, I interviewed a couple of doctors for this book, and one of the doctors, Dr. Hugh Taylor, up at Yale Reproductive Medicine, the book came out in 2014, so that means I wrote it in 2013. He said to me, "You're way ahead of your time, girl." He's like, "We are seeing a direct connection between autoimmune diseases, immune system challenges, and fertility challenges. We're screening everyone in our clinic right now for Hashimoto's and for celiac because we're seeing such a high correlation between autoimmunity and fertility challenges." And so now, for those of you that know my next book, Body Belief, you can kind of see where Body Belief was actually born in Yes, You Can Get Pregnant. Just like Yes, You Can Get Pregnant was born in Chill Out and Get Healthy. Chapter 7 of Chill Out and Get Healthy, Preparing the Palace, became Yes, You Can Get Pregnant. And this chapter here, How You Live Your Life Directly Affects Your Ability to Get Pregnant, really was the basis of Body Belief, of my next book after this. So I talk about autoimmunity. I talk about how endometriosis looks like an autoimmune condition, PCOS looks like an autoimmune condition. They might not technically be autoimmune conditions, they're more inflammatory conditions, but they act like it, they respond like it. So I get into all of that, and then I give the reader, part 2 is the Fertility Rejuvenation Plan. I give you tips on how to shift your life so you can become more fertile. One of them is becoming one with nature, so I talk all about lifestyle in there. Then I talk about eating for optimal fertility and nutrition. I talk about steering clear of environmental toxins. I talk about preparing yourself mentally and emotionally. Then I give you a step-by-step 7-day fertility rejuvenation plan. So the Yes, You Can Get Pregnant diet is not very different than, it's a good starting point for the Egg Quality Diet, I would say. So for those of you who have read this book, still are not pregnant or still are searching, looking for more information, my most recent book is what is the next logical step for you. And also, I think it's a good point to point that out. Like, I give you this really, I think this great 7-day plan. But first, actually, I want to just talk about one of my favorite parts of this book is the mental emotional tie-in with your health, your fertility, and your emotional state. Stress, anxiety, depression, too much joy, too little joy, too much anger, too little anger. You name it. Chinese medicine, there's a direct correlation between any disease state in Chinese medicine and an emotional state. And so whether the chicken or the egg, doesn't matter what came first, but we need to address the emotions. And so there's some beautiful pieces in the Preparing Yourself Mentally and Emotionally chapter. We talk about meditation, visualization, mindful daydreaming, giving birth to your new story. I have a mantra throughout the book. I have the power to change my health and improve my fertility. I give you I give you mudras for each phase of your menstrual cycle. I give you tips for each phase of your menstrual cycle. And then we go into the chapter 8, putting it all together. I tell you should be having 1 to 2 teaspoons of healthy oils a day, nuts and seeds, fruit, vegetables, 3 to 5 servings a day. So I've gone up on that. And yeah, now I'm up to like 6 to 8 because I see the benefit especially from an anti-aging perspective. Bone broth, I talk about that. This is, again, I wrote this in 2013. This is kind of before people were talking about bone broth. But Chinese medicine, we've been talking about bone broth for quite a long time. I recommend liver. I recommend butter and chicken and meat and fish. And you can see all of this little chart of recommendations. I'm still very consistent with that. I've tweaked things a little bit. And then the last part of the fertility rejuvenation plan, and yes, you can get pregnant, is just more fertility enhancing tips and ways to overcome common fertility challenges. So I talk about additional treatments to enhance fertility. I get into IVF, IUI, acupuncture, Chinese herbs. I talk about overcoming common fertility challenges. I tell you what tests you should ask your doctor, what your lab results should look like. I give you the functional ranges all throughout the book. I talk about endometriosis, PCOS, premature ovarian aging, it was called then. Now it's called insufficiency. I talk about autoimmune diseases and their impact on fertility, their correlation, type 1 diabetes, autoimmune thyroid disease. I talk about dairy, gluten, and your thyroid. And then I talk about fertility challenges from a Chinese medicine perspective. Those of you that love quizzes, there are quizzes in this book. It is some fun stuff, girls. I give you Chinese medicine diagnoses, and then I finish the book with You Are Where You're Supposed to Be, which those of you, again, who have been working with me for a while know that I'm a highly spiritual individual. I really do trust the timing of your life, the timing of my life. And, I think this book, it gives you really valuable information on what a fertility rejuvenation plan, but it also is meant to give you a lot of peace in the journey because it's not an easy process. So that is book number 2. Then we move into book number 3, which I have another copy right here, Body Belief. This is how to heal autoimmune diseases, radically shift your health, and learn to love your body more. So Body Belief came out in 2018. So I wrote this in 2017, that means. And now I have given birth to my own child at this point. I'm now married. But mind you, when I wrote Yes, You Can Get Pregnant too, I was still single and childless. And I got some flack for that. People were like, you don't know nothing about fertility. You never had a baby. Blah, blah, blah. And then, you know what I did? I started following this advice at the age of 36. And at the age of 40, got pregnant on the second month of trying with my healthy baby boy. Yeah, yes, I did. So then my third book came out, Body Belief, and like I said, it was really stemmed from talking and researching for Yes, You Can Get Pregnant when I started to see, and I saw it clinically as well, a strong correlation between autoimmune diseases and fertility challenges. And then as you went deeper, you just started to see, well, clinically, I mean for myself, because at this point now I'm a clinician for 15 years when I wrote this book, 14 years when I wrote this book. 2004 I started practicing, right? But mind you, I started graduate school in 2000. So at this point I'm 18 years into seeing people clinically, and there's a shit ton of autoimmunity, and I'm realizing it, and I'm like, oh my God, I think it's at the root of every single disease state. Everybody needs to know about this. And so this is a non-fertility book, mainly because Hay House, who is the publisher of this book, really liked my history and loved the sales of Yes, You Can Get Pregnant, but did not want another fertility book. They wanted me to talk generally about autoimmunity. It applies to women who have fertility challenges, and you guys know that because I've been talking about it over the years. I think most unexplained infertility is rooted in an undiagnosed or mismanaged autoimmune disease and or inflammatory disorder. And I'm certain of that, and I see it all the time. And when I treat it like an autoimmune condition, these women typically go on to get pregnant. And so, but I took it to the next level here, where I talk about autoimmunity, I talk about the preponderance of autoimmunity, I talk about the reasons why autoimmunity exists, but I also talk about something that no one else was talking about, or I think really talks about still, is we know inflammation lends itself to autoimmunity. But we talk a lot about physical inflammation. We talk about our diet. We talk about lifestyle factors. no one talks about emotional inflammation. So this book there's 3 pillars to this book. It's about reconnecting to yourself, renewing the beliefs about your body, and then reawakening your health, which is like the tangible lifestyle diet stuff. And so this book goes deep into the mental, emotional, spiritual aspect of health, of inflammation, of how you love and nourish and support your body. And all of my books I'm very proud of. I love this book. So chapter 1, autoimmunity, what is it? It's a hostile takeover of your body. Chapter 2, beliefs. I talk all about your belief systems, how they impact your behavior, how that then impacts your health, how your beliefs impact how you run around in the world, who you interact with, the choices you make on a daily basis. What are the common beliefs and how are they getting in your way? I then go in to discuss the 3 pillars: reconnect, renew, reawaken. And then I give you, chapter 4 is how to reconnect to yourself. Chapter 5, how to renew your body beliefs. I really love that chapter. That work has become a mainstay in all of my work. I'm doing my Fertility Reboot 2.0 right now. It's very much based, the mental emotional work is very much based in the stuff that I developed for body belief, all about how to renew your body beliefs, how to start to be on your own team, how to be kinder to yourself, how to love and support yourself. So this book is really meant for people with a diagnosed autoimmune condition, but there is an interesting statistic that it takes the average autoimmune patient, I think it's something like 6 years, I think a dozen doctors in 6 years to actually get a diagnosis. So a lot of people are suffering and don't know that they maybe have an autoimmune condition going on. So if you feel like shit and you've tried a lot of different things and you're really kind of certain that you have some underlying condition, but nobody seems to find it, this is also a good book for you. And then chapter 6 is all about reawakening your health. I give you an eating plan. I give you lifestyle changes. I again give you a 7-day action plan. And there's a bunch of recipes. There's on-the-go snack. There's recipes in Yes, You Can Get Pregnant Too, and in Chill Out and Get Healthy, by the way. We have Body Belief, Amy-approved personal care products, household cleaning products. So there's a lot of really good content in this book. And I talk about emotional freedom technique, Qigong, functional medicine. I talk about acupuncture and Chinese herbs. I give you mudras in this book, yoga poses. I talk about the toxins in our environment. There's a full elimination diet in this book that is basically an autoimmune paleo elimination diet, but mixed with Chinese medicine philosophy as well, and nutritional recommendations. And it's really meant to heal your gut and get you to begin to regulate your immune system so your body can begin to heal the autoimmunity. So this is, I think, a great starting point for a lot of women who, have read this book, are trying to get pregnant, do have an autoimmune condition, and something's still not clicking. This is also a great book just for anyone looking to manage and heal an autoimmune condition, whether or not you're looking to get pregnant. But as I always say, and it's a constant theme for me and throughout all of my books and my teachings, is your fertility is an extension of your health. So if you just work on your health, your fertility is going to thrive. Even if you're not trying to get pregnant, and you don't have to be fertile making babies to have healthy fertility, right? Like your menstrual cycle, your ovulation, as Lisa Hendrickson Jack says in her book, The Fifth Vital Sign, it is a vital sign. It is a necessary sign for us to know optimal health is happening, whether or not you're trying to make babies. But the immune system and your autoimmunity is very involved in many, many disease states these days. So this book, is, to me, is just a foundational book for many people who are dealing with health issues and autoimmune issues. And then the mental emotional work in this book as well, and that's something I'm very proud of. But this book then gave birth to the latest baby, the Egg Quality Diet. So the Egg Quality Diet, so what happened? So here's how it goes down. I write, Yes, You Can Get Pregnant. A lot of women read it. The diet helps a lot of women. Then there's this subset of women that the diet is kind of helping. Maybe it's still taking time. Maybe they're still having miscarriages. Maybe they're still not succeeding with IVF. Maybe they're, they're just not, it's not working as good as it could for them. Those are the women that I started to realize they probably have an inflammatory condition like PCOS or endometriosis, and or an autoimmune condition like Hashimoto's. This seems to be a very common one. Celiac, another really common one. So what I started to do was okay, Yes, You Can Get Pregnant. I still want you to read it and do all the lifestyle and the mental emotional work. I want you to follow the body belief diet. And so I started seeing, because that's an autoimmune paleo elimination style diet. So I started seeing radical shifts in my clients that were doing that. And then I started doing more research, and I was like, okay, body belief diet, great, not totally macronutrient balanced. Macronutrients, which are, I did a live on this a couple weeks ago, so you can go and watch that, but basically the percentages of fat, protein, and carbohydrates in your diet. There's different macronutrient needs for different healthcare challenges. Fertility has different needs than autoimmunity, interestingly enough. So I started to see like, yes, the elimination diet, really powerful in helping us figure out how to manage the inflammation, how to heal the autoimmunity in these clients to help them get pregnant. But so then I started tweaking the diet even more, and I layered in fertility enhancing foods. I adjusted the macronutrients. I'm calling it phase 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's a slightly different protocol than what's in Body Belief, and for different reasons, because we're really specific for fertility. But as you can see, everything jumped off. So Chill Out and Get Healthy, I took the Preparing Your Palace chapter from my first book and then made it Yes, You Can Get Pregnant. Yes, You Can Get Pregnant, all the research there, the realization of autoimmunity and inflammation and how it was impacting fertility. I then wrote a book on autoimmunity, and then now I've taken the culmination of all of that, and here we have it. And now this book, what's different about this book than any other book I've ever written is this book is very specific to diet. I never wanted to do that because I don't think diet is the only piece. I think lifestyle plays a huge role. I think mental emotional health plays a tremendous role. So what I did with this book, which is different, is I didn't want to just give you a 7-day plan, which I said to a couple friends who are authors. I was like, most of us write books and we give them one chapter on diet. I decided you're going to get a whole book on diet because I want to take the guesswork out of this for you. It's overwhelming what to eat for your fertility. It's overwhelming. And we really do need a 100-day plan because that's the process of folliculogenesis. That's how long it takes to really impact that egg quality. It takes about 70 or so days for sperm. And so if you're in a heterosexual couple and you want sperm health improved, this is also the diet for sperm health. So I just said, I'm going to give them 100 days of a diet. And then what I did, so this is 15 weeks, 100 days of menus. There's shopping lists, there's recipes, there's some good chapters in here on, can I really improve the quality of my eggs, the basics of the egg quality diet. And then basically I'm giving you mantras and I'm giving you specific meal plans for 100 days, which are templates. I give you guides, I give you PDFs. There's an entire website that my team and I created to go along with this book to compensate for the fact that I don't talk so much about lifestyle or supplements in this book. But I gave you a website that you can only get the URL from this book. You can buy the book. There's a website that then has my best of my best information curated on that website. So with the book, you get this website where there are videos. There's a video for each phase of this diet where I kind of talk you through the important steps, what not to miss. There's recipes. There's your shopping list, your guides. You can download things. You can print them out. I have you go through a whole kink in your body questionnaire. I want you to fill that out every single week so you can see inflammation improving in your body when you can't necessarily see fertility improving in real time, the way you can see symptoms changing. I curated the best of my video content from the last, decade of work that I've been doing. I point you in the direction. So about week 9 in this book, or week 8, every week I start highlighting a different thing I want you to focus on. So now that you have the diet down, now I want you to layer in supplements. Now I want to talk about sperm health. Now I want to talk about egg quality and epigenetics. Now I want to talk about methylation, MTHFR. Now I want to talk about emotional inflammation. Now I want to talk about endometriosis. Now I want to talk about, whatever, you name it. And so this book, what's so cool about this one that my other books don't really have is the interaction with the website and the obnoxious amount of content that is on that website for you. So yeah, so there you have it. So who are each of these books for? I mean, I think you've kind of gotten the gist of it. So I do think that if you're trying to get pregnant, this is where you start. If you have an autoimmune condition and you're not trying to get pregnant, this is where you start. But maybe you're interested in fertility at some point, then maybe you go all the way back here. You read these two. These are more general health, and these are very specific to women's health and fertility. Very specific, right? So you have lots to choose from, but I also like to talk about it because now you can see kind of the evolution of me and my writing and my teaching, and how I find a subject and kind of get hooked on it, and then I want to go deeper, and I want to go deeper, and I want to go deeper, and I want to give you the best possible plan. So, you know, autoimmunity and inflammation are a huge topic of conversation. They're impacting women 75% more than men, and they're impacting women in their prime. So kind of no matter how you slice it, whether or not you're trying to actively conceive, inflammation and autoimmunity are probably impacting your health. And so if you're not trying to conceive, I think Body Belief is a great place to go to. But if you are, then I think, yes, you can get pregnant along with the egg quality diet is where it's at for you. And so there you have it. And let's see, I want to just go through, and I know my team is on here and they tend to answer most of the questions for me. And I have another call that I need to prepare for. So I might hang up on you guys, but let's just see. Oh, first of all, where you can find the books, go to my website, amyrupp.com/books. I love your books. Thank you. So psyched. Let's see. Yeah, we were told soy milk was so good for our women's health. Yeah, bullshit is what that is. Miscarriage. I'm getting, okay. Oh yeah, so this is not one of my lives where I take on a guest. I do that every other Monday, and I just did it earlier this week where I do my Fertility Hot Seat Live. So I'm not going to take you on right now, but if you want to join, my next hot seat will be 2 weeks from this past Monday. And let's see if Facebook has any questions or comments. I love how you keep it real. Love all of your books. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. All right, so there you have it. And thank you for your support always, especially with my latest book, The Egg Quality Diet. It's a huge hit, and I'm honored to be of service and to help all of you as I continue to learn and explore in my 20 some odd years of clinical experience at this point. All right, I love you. Be well. I'll see y'all soon.